Far beyond the shimmering clouds of our blue planet lies a world of silence, a cold grey sphere suspended in darkness, forever watching us. For as long as humans have looked to the sky, the moon has been our companion, our calendar, our guide, our mystery. But what if this familiar face in the night isn't what it seems? What if the moon's true story has been hidden in plain sight, buried beneath dust, denial, and decades of unanswered questions? When we look at the moon, we see beauty. Astronomers, however, see an anomaly, something that shouldn't exist the way it does. Unlike any other planet in our solar system, Earth's moon is enormous compared to the planet it orbits. In fact, it's so large that scientists often call Earth and Moon a double planet system, a pairing almost never seen elsewhere. And then comes the first red flag. Among all the rocky planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars, only one has a moon large enough to stabilize its tilt and seasons. Only one supports intelligent life. Coincidence? Maybe. But the more we study it, the more the moon refuses to behave like an accident of nature. Long before telescopes or rocket ships, ancient civilizations gazed upward and wrote strange stories about the moon. In Sumerian texts, the moon was not a celestial body. It was a craft, a chariot of the gods sailing through the sky. In Hindu mythology, it was said to house souls and divine beings. The Mayans believed the moon influenced not only tides, but consciousness itself. And in ancient Egypt, priests described it as a mirror to the heavens, reflecting more than just light. For centuries, these were dismissed as metaphorical myths, poetic ways to explain nature. But what if ancient people saw something we've forgotten? Fast forward to the 20th century. In 1969, as Apollo 11 landed on the moon, humanity achieved its greatest dream, but also stumbled into its greatest puzzle. When astronauts placed seismic instruments on the moon and intentionally crashed parts of their spacecraft onto the surface, something bizarre happened. The moon rang like a bell. The vibrations lasted for almost an hour. NASA scientists described it as if the moon were hollow inside, a phrase that sparked decades of speculation. Was it simply a dense crust, or something far stranger, a shell surrounding a void? Back on Earth, scientists began analyzing the samples brought home by Apollo missions, and that's when the data stopped making sense. The moon's rocks were almost identical to Earth's mantle, same isotopes, same composition. But there was one big difference. The moon's surface was covered in elements that only form under intense heat, far beyond what normal geological processes could create. So if the moon was born from Earth, why did it show signs of melting, as if it were burned or forged? And if it wasn't, how did it end up in perfect orbit, matching Earth's rotational rhythm down to the millisecond? It's as if someone fine-tuned the distance, ensuring that we always see the same face, the near side glowing gently, the far side locked in perpetual darkness. For centuries, no one knew what lay beyond that dark side. Even telescopes couldn't see it. Until 1959, when the Soviet spacecraft Luna 3 captured the first blurred images of the hidden hemisphere, what they revealed shocked astronomers. The far side was completely different, rougher, older, covered in deep scars and impact basins. It looked alien. Then, decades later, in 2019, China's Chang'e 4 mission landed a rover there, the first in history. What it found reignited an age-old debate. Strange metallic reflections appeared in the camera feed. Unusual energy readings came from beneath the surface. And in the distance, a cube-shaped object, half buried in dust. The world erupted in speculation. Was it just a rock formation or something left behind and long before us? NASA officials quickly dismissed the claims, calling them optical illusions and compression artifacts. They assured the public that every anomaly had a logical explanation, that our eyes, not the data, were deceiving us. But behind closed doors, internal reports hinted at something else. Certain transmission gaps, data that went missing during lunar orbit, and unexplained radio silences whenever probes passed over specific coordinates on the far side. Could it be simple interference, or was something blocking the signals intentionally? Over the decades, several astronauts have made cryptic remarks. Apollo 14's Edgar Mitchell, the sixth man to walk on the moon, later stated that not everything the public was told about the missions was the full truth. He hinted at off-world presences, silent observers who'd been there long before humanity ever arrived. Carl Wolf, a technician at Langley Air Force Base in the 1960s, claimed he saw photographs of artificial structures on the moon, towers, domes, and what looked like machinery. Years later, he died suddenly, leaving behind no verified proof. Coincidence again? Or cleanup? Today, the moon is once again a global obsession. NASA, SpaceX, Russia, India, and China all are preparing missions not of exploration, but extraction. Why? Because beneath the moon's soil lies helium-3, a rare isotope capable of fueling clean nuclear fusion. Helium-3 could change everything. Unlimited power, no pollution, no radioactive waste. And the moon has enough of it to power Earth for centuries. But to harvest it, you'd need permanent bases. And to build bases, you'd need to understand and perhaps confront whatever already lies there. Some scientists now quietly consider ideas once labeled science fiction. Could the moon have been an artificial construct, a captured satellite, or an ancient observation post? Mathematicians have noted the eerie perfection of its orbit, the way it precisely fits the sun during solar eclipses, matching sizes despite vast differences in scale. Too precise to be luck, some say. Others point to ancient manuscripts, from Babylonian to Tibetan, describing celestial architects who placed the moon to stabilize Earth's climate and tides, allowing life to evolve. Were they simply myth-makers or eyewitnesses to something real? In quantum physics, observation changes reality. Could it be that our moon, forever observing Earth, plays a role not only in our tides and time, but in consciousness itself? It may sound far-fetched, but the moon's gravitational resonance directly affects biological rhythms, animal behavior, and even human emotion. It's as if our planet and moon are locked in an invisible dance, physical, mental, and perhaps spiritual. By 2030, NASA plans to establish a permanent station on the lunar South Pole, near craters filled with frozen water. Publicly, it's about survival and science. But among insiders, there are whispers of another goal: accessing structures detected deep beneath the surface using radar imaging. Officially, these are lava tubes. Unofficially, they might be something else entirely. So what really is the moon? A natural wonder, a cosmic accident, or a carefully engineered enigma placed here for reasons we've yet to understand? Maybe it's both, nature's masterpiece, refined by something greater. Because no matter how much we study it, the moon still feels alive, watching, waiting, and perhaps remembering. And as nations race to return, one question remains unanswered. When we finally uncover what's truly on the far side of the moon, will we be ready for what looks back?